Hello again. This is a continuation of our question and answers. The camera took a little bit of a squat there in my raving, probably on purpose. When I read about these people that have had chemo and radiation, it does unbalance me a little bit. Again, difficult to be totally in the now and detached when you see the suffering for no reason, actually. Just a sad sort of thing. So I feel for those that have had the chemos and radiations and died from them and suffered the pain of it all. Just a really sad thing for people that are God people. Such a lack on this planet in that way. So I feel sorry for that. But I could tell you a lot of cases where the radiation and chemo just burnt the cells in the bone so bad that they ended up with bone cancer in several places. And it always makes cancer in other places. It's just after a few years you forget about it, but radiation has a 20-year lifespan that it can cause cancerous tissue in the related areas. I remember I had a lady here, and she had cancer in the eye, believe this or not, and they told her they had this new 3D radiation, just pinpoint that cancer and take care of it, and she was definitely fearful, but they talked her into it. Well, she came to me about a year later, full of brain cancer from that. So that was a lie. And so, this is the problem. Any type of damage to cells is not what we're after. You're trying not to kill cells. Whenever you go after one cell in your body, you're going after all of them. Your immune system is designed to terminate these cells. Your lymph system is designed to take these cells to the lymph nodes. This is why you find cancerous cells in lymph nodes. Not part of the lymph node cancer if you had a lymph node cancer, but part of the cells, or the termination of the cell on site. That's what your lymph system is designed to do. That's its job. And so people find these medical doctors find these lymph nodes, and they want to cut them out. Someone mentioned they had a lymph node taken out under their chin here, and I wanted to talk about that a little bit, and wondered why that was why he had a lot of problems of anxiety and things like this. And I thought, Asian. He had one lymph node removed under the jaw on the left side, and then had a lifetime of fatigue and weakness and mood swings and anxiety and depression, etc., etc. Well, let me reverse that. Let me say that the tumor was the cause of that problem, and that problem is the adrenal glands. That's your autonomic nervous system. So that sits on top of the kidneys, of course, which control the drainage of the lymph system. So this was a problem you had from the beginning. And this tumor was actually an effect of that cause. And that cause, as you get older, you never fix the cause of it. That's why I'm very focused on the causative factors of things instead of the side effects of things. This treating of symptoms is ridiculous and causes a lot of problems, when to understand the cause is real simple. Address that cause, you'll not only get rid of the symptom, but you'll never have it again because you corrected the problem, and now your body will maintain its health. And that is really the key that we all have to deal with here. You mentioned some amalgam fillings. I'd have them out, and the use of them. These dentists are still using these amalgam fillings. What do they need? To slap upside the head or something? I mean, come on. We know mercury's a neurotoxin. Look at how we treat mercury spills in hospitals. And I used to play with it in my fingers all the time. We treat it we quarantine the area. We red bag, and yet dentists still play with that. I find that very interesting. My dentist uses composites at the very least. This is a good comment about the Jewish rabbi. I love all you guys. Are you kidding? It's all God, guys. Any soul that wakes up to its divinity, I love you. Because, this is the cool thing. We should seek these people out and learn from their surrender ability, their ability to surrender and to let go, let God, so to speak, step out of the way and become that which is. The loss of the little self to gain the big self. Again, I'm going to try to do this video on muscle testing. You all are curious, and it's a real simple thing, but it's helpful in understanding or working with things like herbs and glandulars, if your body really likes that particular formula or not. Sometimes an herbal formula is good for a while, and then sometimes it's not. We have some, just talked to a lady where she used lymphatic 1 liquid, lymph node 1 liquid, and kidney, and her sinus just broke loose, tore loose, and just started draining. And so I've been trying those too, because you find the right combination. Herbs are so beautiful, and you find the right combination, man, it can kick up. Because those of you that are suffering with tumors and cancer and stuff, moving the lymph system by far is the key of your survival. And the kidneys and adrenals are the magic doors that you need to open as well. Let me see here. Someone talked about chocolate candies. Yeah, you must have myself in mind. Of course, all us fungal heads, we do like the chocolates. But, you know, again, a piece of chocolate once in a while never hurt anybody. There's all the natural chocolates out there now. It's funny how man has tried to make everything taste so good, and yet we shy away from fruits and berries. The flavor of good fruits and berries can't be beat. I can't imagine why we go for tasteless things, and then we have to put all kinds of spices to make it halfway taste good. That amazes me. This question was relating to sulfur. I'm not against cruciferouses at all, except that they do tend to be a little more sulfured up than others. If you have a lot of sulfur, inorganic sulfur, I'll call it that way, inorganic sulfur or sulfur drugs type sulfur in the body, you could end up with a lot of excessive gas with this and stuff. I don't find anything wrong with them, but this idea of using cruciferouses for cancer is ridiculous, because we're still stuck on the sulfur things. It's like MSM and glucosamine. I mean, shame on these makers. I mean, the sulfur compounds are cumulative in the tissues and actually spawn tremendous amount of fungal problems and suppress lymph systems. I remember I have a famous opera singer in London, and she was on glucosamine and chondroitin, of course, and for her knees. And when I got her, I asked her what she was on, and she told me, and I said, well, you've got to come off of those. She said, oh, no, I couldn't come off of them. My knees would really, start bothering me bad. And I said, well, why are you taking them? She said, oh, to regenerate my knees. And I said, sulfur doesn't regenerate nothing. I said, the FDA, I think, made them change this idea of MSM and glucosamine regenerating bone and cartilage, some ridiculous thing like that. And now if you listen to the commercials, it aids more in the symptoms. So I said, no, this is not good to get sulfur compounds building up in the body, because then you've got a lot of more problems to deal with. So she came off of them, but I asked her how long she'd been on them. And she said, well, I've been on them 10 years. I said, 10 years. Let me see. You've been on these supplements 10 years. They claim to rebuild bone and cartilage. You think 10 years is long enough for them to achieve that? Well, it made her stop and think a minute. Wait a minute. I've been taking these 10 years. I have no improvement. If I come off of them, my knees feel worse. That means you're suppressing the symptom. When you're taking something and you come off of it and your symptom is worse, that means that suppressed your symptom. And in time, you're going to lose the knees. So she came off of them. We regenerated her knees, and she's one happy singer now. Of course, she's elderly and does some traveling, but this question was about a juicer or blender. I am a juicer kind of guy in the sense that if your vegetables, get rid of that pulp.